Hello guys, and welcome back to another For Honor Heroes build video with me, Daniel Does It. Today we're working on the Shugoki, and the move we're focused on is Breach Attack. So let's go ahead and get into the 3 perk selection that I choose or suggest for this mode. Now I choose Remedy, Vengeful Barrier, and Rising Dawn. Now I choose Remedy over the first 3 common perks because you're not going to be in too many zones besides the heal zone and capturing zones in the first 2 areas of Breach, and you're not always going to be guaranteed to be on these zones unless you're trying to build towards where you're just sitting on these zones. But besides that, Remedy is going to give you plus 10 health whether if you execute or not on an enemy hero and or captain in total, which you're always going to see through the whole match, which in my opinion is going to be more beneficial. Feline agility, you gain speed per renown level. It is a nice increase when you're trying to go around and reviving enemies, or if you have the shield banner you're running around. But other than that, you don't really want to rely too much on perks or feats that require you to run around to get your allies or revive. You want to be more of a tanky player character, especially with the Shugoki. And if you're able to stay alive and gain health off of not just your executions, just regular kills, you're going to stay alive much longer than you really would, especially with hard to kill, which we'll get to later. Vengeful Barrier I choose as a mid perk, which instead of allowing me to choose 2 perks, I choose 3 perks, which is 1 common, 1 mid-level perk, and the last 3 perks are like your high-end perks, and you're only allowed to have 1 of those activated at a time. Or you can have 2, but then you will only be able to have 2 perks total. But a little bit of that, I got a video covering how the whole perk system works if you guys need to check that out. I go with Vengeful Barrier because it gives me a 25 health shield whenever I exit Revenge. So if you guys know, when you go into Revenge, you got a big old yellow bar over your health. That's a shield bar. Now when you get out of Revenge, you go back to your normal health of what you have, or if the players are knocking your shield down, if you're getting more gained by about 3 or 4 players, most likely your shield's going to be depleted. But when you get out of Revenge, you're going to gain another 25 health shield. Now this works well if you kill the enemy because you get more health, which is going to prevent them from knocking all your health down before you get to that Vengeful Barrier shield, which is protect the remaining health you have. And then hard to hit kill is damage reduction based on how much life you lost. So let's say if you're in the last 2-3 bars of your health, you got high damage reduction. Now if you have a Vengeful Barrier activated when you get out of Revenge and you're in low health, you still have high damage reduction that's going to take away from your 25 shield. So if somebody hits your 25 shield, in other words, your shield damage is going to be reflected from your damage reduction. So instead of taking like a whole 16 from a light attack, you'll probably take like 12 or 11. Moving on to Rising Dawn, I use that as the last out of the last 3 high perks from Last Stand and Bulk Up, because it's not all about yourself, with Bulk Up giving you more health to withstand more damage, or Last Stand to let you stand in the fight longer. We already have ways to stay alive, regain our health, and have damage reduction. So why not have a perk, especially for a Breach Attack, where you're giving your allies more than 50% of their health, which allows them to either back you up, stay alive longer in a fight where your lives matter. Even though all lives matter, we know that respawn count really matters with Breach Attack. So let's go ahead and get over to the feats now. My first feat, which is going to go well with your Rising Dawn, which allows them to have more health, is Speed Revive. Not only are you going to give them more health, but when you do end up reviving an ally, it's going to be quicker than normal, basically double the speed that it takes to normally revive an ally. Now that goes better than Iron Lug and Throw Father, because you're not always going to be around elemental environments where you can damage or kill your enemies, so Throw Father isn't too viable in this mode. Iron Lungs, I really don't like this perk or feat. I don't understand why it's a feat. You don't want to run away when you're exhausted because you get grabbed. Even if you can run away out of stamina, you're still going to get grabbed if you try to run away from a fight when you're exhausted. The only time I will see you exhausted is if you're taking out troops and I exhaust you, but in my opinion, try your hardest not to be in an exhausted state. So that's why I choose Speed Revival over those 2 feats. Let's go on to Juggernaut on your second selection of feats. And I go with Juggernaut because this, in my opinion, is better than Smoke Bomb. Smoke Bomb does blind your enemies. Sometimes I see this working perfectly if you're getting ganked in a corridored area or in a little cornered area and you have all your allies and enemies there. You throw this down, you can mercilessly, you and your team, just slay them. But if it doesn't work out for you that way, in my opinion, it's it's an iffy kind of a feat, you know. Rocksteady is nice. It prevents you from being knocked down whenever somebody goes in revenge and you hit them, or if you're exhausted and they try to throw you, you will not fall to the ground. Pretty nice feat. Sometimes more valuable, I think, in elimination and our Dominion matches, but for the purpose of trying to stay alive, this works awesome with your vengeful barrier, trying to get revenge, trying to revive somebody. Now, if you're going to go run to revive somebody and there's people around, you can activate Juggernaut, because no matter what the enemy does, grab, whatever, they're not going to stop you. I mean, they could grab you, but you're going to automatically counter guard break. But if they don't guard break you, they're going to try to swing heavies and lights at you. You're not only going to get damage reduction from hard to kill, but you're going to get high damage reduction from Juggernaut while you're reviving that enemy, and you're going to be uninterrupted. Besides using this to revive allies, this is awesome to start off with when you get into a match or you see an enemy coming at you. Throw on Juggernaut, because if you have full health, you're not benefiting from hard to kill at first. But if you have full health, throw on Juggernaut. You have high damage reduction at the beginning of your fight. Once Juggernaut is gone, not activated anymore, on cooldown, you already has lost health, which gave you damage reduction from hard to kill, which is our third feat. This is why the combination of feats you see that I have are so awesome and work so great together. So the third feat, I choose hard to kill, obviously because of the cool combination that you see works fluently with this build and this feat. But let me explain why I don't use longbow, because it's a chancy attack. If somebody sees it coming, they can dodge it. You can hit your allies, you can hit minions that happen to get in the way and or obstacles. It's not so reliable, in my opinion, as hard to kill will be for you in a breach attack mode. Punch through, I'm kind of iffy. They keep buffing and decreasing the amount of damage this does. In my opinion, you don't want to rely on punch through, or no, like, hey, I don't care if he's blocking, I'm still going to do damage to him, because once they learn how to parry your attacks or whatever you're trying to do, you ain't going to be doing much. Also, it's not going to encourage you to try to learn your own combos to open up the enemies. That's my opinion on that. Again, hard to kill is the best way to go for breach attack. Last feat we have Regenerate, Arrow Storm, and or Staggering Blow. I choose Regenerate, obvious reasons. Whenever I'm walking around, if I'm going to go revive an ally, if I'm going to go pick up the shield banner, if I'm going to go sit somewhere, whatever I'm going to do, if I'm doing it without being in combat stance and not sprinting, I'm going to be regenerating my health. So that is just awesome in my opinion. Like, you're unstoppable in that way, you know. Arrow Storm, it's a little iffy. It does land where you want it to go. It does have like a little row of attacks that go forward. Keep that in mind. It does damage your allies as well as the enemies. Staggering Blow, it's a fun thing to use. You can stagger your allies as well. It's, in my opinion, when you grab an enemy with the Shugoki, most of the time you're batting them away, so they're always going to be knocked down to the ground. But in my opinion, this is the best way to go for breach. You're not going to use it as much as you would for regenerate, because remember, all lives matter. I really hope you guys enjoy. That is the Shugoki build for breach, and until next time, guys, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching.